Tonight on CTV, student burnout was a big issue last semester, but how are students feeling now? And how is Fort Collins seeing explosive growth in the cost of housing?
And find out what local residents can do to help victims of the Marshall Fire from last month. All this and more on CTV News starting now. Good evening, Rams, and welcome to the Thursday Night News. I'm Natalie Devereaux.
And I'm Weston Hubbard. Fort Collins may seem like it's always getting bigger, and it's not just the town itself, but the cost of living here. The average price for housing during the past year was a grand total of $540,000. This new average is a massive 17% spike over the previous year's prices, bringing the new average to a historic high for the city. As of now, the only city considered to be more costly to live in other than North Collins in northern Colorado is Tinmouth, which an average of $585,000 for a home for new homeowners are looking to have trouble affording and finding homes to live in, which could mean a surge of them looking to leave Fort Collins and look for a more affordable housing.
With thousands displaced since the Marshall Fire, Fort Collins residents are eager to extend aid to our neighbors, but took a pause when considering the legal repercussions of their kindness. U+2 is a local occupancy ordinance designed to prevent overcrowding within neighborhoods. It stops more than 3 people from living with one another if 2 of them are not related, making it impossible for residents to shelter those in need without breaking the law. Concerns were heard by City Council, who then suggested U+2 be suspended indefinitely, but after pushback, the Council is discussing a permanent option. It would require a household taking in a fire victim to apply for a permit and show proof of housing loss. At this time, Boulder has not asked Fort Collins to help them rehouse residents, but this has started a bigger conversation on how Fort Collins will handle natural disaster refugees going forward.
Workload burnout is a problem that seemingly every student has been burdened with, but are students already struggling with it this semester? With classes having started only last week, campus is seeming to already be having a massive amount of burnout. With a full return to in-person classes, there's times during the day where campus still feels completely bare. Some of the students who are here, however, don't seem like they want to be. A study done last year by the American College Health Association could explain this lack of motivation. They said that about 48% of college students reported moderate or severe psychological stress, and 53% reported being lonely, with a quarter of the respondents having considered suicide. Even with a month-long break, mental health issues are still a prevalent problem. But that study was last year, so the question we have for students here on CSU's campus is, how are your burnout levels doing?
Definitely feeling it. I think it really did start with going online because of COVID and everything, and gradually increasing since then. And then being an engineering major too, it's taking fluid mechanics and those types of classes really do add to it.
I was in 17 engineering credits, and I actually had to quit my job because of that, because I couldn't handle both of them at the same time. Kind of had to step back and reevaluate what was actually happening, because I kind of felt like I was in a tunnel of just wake up, do school, go to bed, wake up, do school.
Despite it only being the end of the second week of the semester, hopefully things can turn around for the students struggling already, and they can find some much needed mental clarity for the rest of the semester. If you find yourself struggling with burnout or mental health issues, you can contact CSU by visiting the 3rd floor of the CSU Health Center or calling 970-221-5551.
More than 50 schools in the Poudre School District are struggling with staffing shortages, creating extra work for those already employed. The shortage has reached a critical point where it may force some school programs online because there is simply not enough staff to run things safely. The district has started a volunteer program within its administration to help fill the gaps and ensure classrooms can operate. The COVID-19 Omicron variant has led to the increasing shortages, with teachers making up the largest number of absences when compared to other departments. There is an average of 275 employee absences every day across the district, creating struggles for student retention and education.
Historic Moore House or destitute meth house? This is the question City Council and residents of Mountain Avenue have been asking themselves. 528 West Mountain Avenue was once occupied by the Moore family, prominent educators in the early Fort Collins community. But over the years, the house has fallen into disrepair and stood vacant for the last 2, as a debate ensued on whether it should become a historical landmark against the current owner's wishes. The designation would prevent them from demolishing the structure even after traces of methamphetamine were discovered. This would be the first non-consensual landmark designation in almost 40 years. Standing for 136 years, this home is one of the oldest remaining on the street, prompting some neighbors to want to save it, while others think it is quite the eyesore. But in a recent 4-2 vote, City Council made the final decision, blocking the landmark status, allowing the owners to move forward with demolition. It's crazy to me that something has just been around for so long, and now they're looking to destroy it. But I also understand their complete reasoning by the fact that methamphetamine, that's a serious thing.
Yeah, well, I actually did a package on this house last semester, so I spent a lot of time there filming it. It's a little scary looking, to be honest, so I kind of understand why they might want to get rid of it.
I'll trust your instinct on it. I definitely will not want to visit there, and honestly, if you think it should go down, bring it down.
The history is cool, but take a look at it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Fort Collins restaurants are looking to change dining rules in regards to the patio dining. With more on the subject, here is JJ McKinney.
Thanks, Weston. The city of Fort Collins has made some changes to the dining areas residents are used to in response to the new Center for Disease Control guidelines. Restaurant goers are about to see their dining habits change. Old Town restaurants had decided to expand their outside dining for customers in response to guidelines set by the CDC for the COVID-19 pandemic all the way back in 2020. But almost a year and a half later, with COVID still in Fort Collins, the city has launched a program to extend outside dining permanently. In a survey held by the city, over 60% of the 37 restaurants interviewed supported the sidewalk patios being permanent, while over 55% of the public supported parking lot patios as well. Retail owners in the survey were against the permanent change, while bars on College Avenue were more in favor than other places. While exploring all of Old Town's restaurants and stores, residents of Fort Collins weighed in on their thoughts about the new changes and their feelings about eating outside.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah. I think the only issue I could see is I know some of them took up like parking spaces and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah, parking spaces and a lot of sitting areas outside. I've seen, expand all through here as well, so I know.
With the support of the community on the program's back, it seems like patio dining is here to stay.
Covered seating, so
yeah.
I kind of like it actually.
I kind of like it a little bit more
especially
too.
like with the Old Town lights and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fort Collins, especially Old Town is so pretty, so it's nice to eat outside.
Dining experience.
Yeah. It's an experience. Yeah.
JJ McKinney, CTV News. While outdoor dining still requires restaurants to follow the Center for Disease Control guidelines, patio eating allows for easier and safer nights out. Well, so it looks like patio dining is here to stay. Back to you guys.
Thanks, JJ, for the information. During the summer, I actually got the chance to go to a lot of restaurants that had patio dining. Like I went to Bojo's with a couple of my friends, and it was such a good experience just because it was warm, fresh air and nice to be sat outside. So I'm kind of glad it's here to stay.
I'm for it too. I feel like it really brings the community together. You sit outside, you see everyone passing by. It's really nice after having to spend so much time inside. So I would say I'm for it too.
100%. The biggest perk of it, in my opinion, dogs. I get to see dogs on the patio all the time.
True.
Get to pet
There's
them.
some cute ones out here.
Total win, in my opinion.
Well, don't go anywhere, Rams. Michelle Ellis is up next to give you the rundown on all things weather. Welcome back from the break, Rams. We've seen both inflation and food insecurity rise from high prices to empty shelves. But how does this affect college students who are shouldering other financial burdens, all while trying to get a degree?
Food insecurity is a silent virus that runs rampant through college campuses. But here at CSU, Rams Against Hunger is using their new pantry to help those in need.
There is a resource here. It's for everybody. It's part of your CSU experience. You should feel very welcome in utilizing this resource.
It can be hard for students to identify when they require help and how to ask for the assistance they desperately need.
That's why we're here with a smile every day and just trying to make people feel comfortable.
Unfortunately, this is not an uncommon issue, with around 30% of students facing this hardship.
When you look around campus, when you look around the classroom that you're in, 3 out of 10 of these students are experiencing food insecurity.
With inflation up over 7%, students are being forced to choose how they budget their money between essential resources.
If you think about food insecure people, it can put a crunch on the budget. And particularly when you're thinking about groceries, this can actually lead to a quantity versus quality trade-off.
Sometimes I have to pinch, and it doesn't feel good. And it also makes me wonder if that's always going to be the reality for me.
As prices rise, so does the stigma and confusion around what it means to be a food insecure college student.
Being hungry it's not a rite of passage, right? That shouldn't be normalized as this is what I have to do to get a degree.
Ramps Against Hunger understands how quickly someone can find themselves in this situation.
Programs like this make me feel more comfortable about it. They help to fill the gaps when I can't.
Because we're all one pandemic, one medical bill, or one job loss away from being food insecure ourselves.
The organization is committed to supporting the CSU community, and the Permanent Food Pantry will have its grand opening this Saturday. The services are free for students and staff to use. Visit collegian.com to find out how much Ramps Against Hunger was able to raise in 2021 to help students meet their basic needs. You know, it was really wonderful to cover the story and see all the hard work that's going in to help our fellow students.
I'm glad that you got the chance to cover it because I wasn't actually aware of how much we were affected by this, and it's really good to see that there's actually people who do need this help and you're willing to help bring that eye to it.
Well, that's another thing they were saying is that a lot of students don't know about these resources and how important it is for them to find out about them.
Honestly, great program. Glad she was able to cover it. So
definitely.
Nearly 500 new townhomes, apartments, and condos are in the works for South Fort Collins, including 254 west of South Timberline Road and 252 on South College Avenue. Both building proposals are in the early stages, but if approved, the property known as Hassan Farm will be transformed to provide housing for single families and college students. Developers met with the city planners on January 12th to discuss the initial plans for the construction of these homes, sharing possible additions such as an open space, dog park, clubhouse, and pool for South Timberline Road properties. It is unsure when construction will begin if approved, but we will be sure to keep you updated as information as more details are shared. Although new homes may be on the way, it's still important to upkeep the home you're currently in. More with this matter with Gavin Wolf.
Thanks, Weston. In the first month of the new year, it's important to make sure you and your home are ready to take on 2022. For homeowners in Fort Collins, this could mean adding radon testing to your to-do list.
Radon is a natural gas produced in soil and rocks in the ground beneath us, and it's virtually harmless in outdoor environments. However, when radon gets trapped in the foundation and insulation of homes, it can become a serious health concern. Michael Smith, a service coach from Lion Home Service, says it's important to test every 2 years for radon in your home.
Everyone should test. We know it exists in Colorado, so having that peace of mind to know long-term exposure to high levels of radon can lead to lung cancer and all kinds of lung diseases.
But one of the reasons why radon is so dangerous is because it's odorless and can easily go unnoticed. Even though radon can be dangerous, it's not uncommon in Colorado homes. High levels of radon are found in 1 out of 2 homes tested, and it causes up to 21,000 deaths a year. Radon expert Archie Mann explains the steps that their company uses to test for radon.
What we do is we open up the canister test. We set it out and leave it out for a minimum of 3 days. After the 3 days is done, what we'll do is we'll close this test and then we bring it over to our reader.
If your home test shows high levels of radon, an active fan system can be installed to pull the gas safely from beneath your home and back outside. With such cold weather this month, it's the ideal time to test for radon. Levels can get much higher as we hunker down, close our windows, and stay inside. There are many options for radon testing. Whether you use a professional or an at-home test, radon testing is a helpful way to make sure your home is safe for the new year.
January is National Radon Testing Month, and discounted tests are available at the City of Fort Collins Senior Center. $6 short-term tests and $20 long-term tests will be available for homes within city limits until the end of the month. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Calvin, for that. The City of Fort Collins is planning to host the annual State of the City Address virtually over a live stream and will be hosted by Mayor Jenny Arndt and Interim City Manager Kelly DeMartino. The event, which will be held on February 1st at 6 in the evening, is meant to address the year of 2021 as a whole for the City of Fort Collins. It will also address the future for the city and what this year, as well as the upcoming years, hold for it. If you would like to tune in, the live stream will be held at fcgov.com/state of the city.
While the holiday season may have just passed us, Poudre School District is already looking ahead to next year's. The school district changed the usual 3-day Thanksgiving break that would run from Wednesday to Friday of Thanksgiving week to give students the whole week off. The change was made after receiving feedback from the community as well as a worry of continuing COVID-19 related struggles, such as staffing shortages. The school district anticipated this would happen during the most recent holiday season and canceled those first 2 days off for Thanksgiving week a few days prior to its beginning. This will shift the students' schedules by having them start 2 days earlier at the beginning of the semester, moving from August 18th to August 16th.
I really just am excited for the chance to go back to Thanksgiving break, but then I also just realized I'm a senior and I don't have another Thanksgiving break.
Same with me, so this is
we
have spring break to look forward to.
We do, but I'm also like, man, as a kid I would have killed for 5 days of spring break, but it's fine. It's whatever.
We'll look forward to spring break. It's okay. Before we head over to the world of sports, Hattie Williams is here to talk about therapy, retail therapy.
Thanks, Natalie. That's right, folks. With all the hustle and bustle of the holiday season behind us, some people might think their shopping days are over. However, with the recent snow and start of classes, you might be thinking, a little retail therapy doesn't sound too bad. If this is the case, this pop-up store could be just what you're looking for.
Online shopping has been all the hype for the last few years, but Thistle, Wellington's own gift boutique, was creative enough to think of a fun spin for customers to still walk through their doors. Last Saturday, I got the chance to chat with Thistle's owner, Kelly DeVries, to see what the craze was all about.
Thistle started out as having all local artists and unique designs, so we have a lot of quirky, snarky, fun little things that you don't find everywhere.
Shopping online can be great, but wouldn't it be better to see it in person? This is exactly what DeVries considered when she made the decision to open the boutique stores 1 week in a month.
So now we have just pop-ups, which has become like parties for everyone, and it is a blast. So every time we have some cocktails, we do shopping, it's just a night of friends.
Because Thistle Boutique is such a community staple for Wellington, it took some time for her dedicated customers of the past 4 years to adapt to the change.
A little bit different, as in I don't have the ability for people to just pop in whenever they want. And coming in every day and just sitting for hours and hours and hoping people came in got pretty draining. I felt like it wasn't enticing people to come in, for a special reason. But definitely they show up for the pop-ups now. And it's actually better in a way because then there'll be more people for them to be able to talk to.
If attending the pop-up shop once a month isn't enough, then customers are able to order online and pick it up from the lockers outside the boutique the exact same day.
Wow, all of those cute items would fit perfectly in my apartment, if I could find any space for them. Oh well, back to you guys.
Thanks, Hattie. I think I'll be doing some retail shopping of my own here soon. That is all the news we have for you tonight, Rams.
Let's stick around right after the break for a rundown on the sports with Ella Frederickson.